let's do this together before we go have our lovely night rest. This is one of the questions that came to us that we are answering. The way we do it is that we try to keep the identity of those who send the question private, and we go ahead to answer the question in a bit generic manner, deliberately trying to ensure that the person who asks the question gets his personal question answered, while so many others who have same question going through their mind get answers to their question. What is the question for today? You can already see it. I am doing what I love doing, but it's not yielding the financial returns. What should I do? I hear this a lot from young people because as we teach and begin to share how people must walk along the path of their passion, questions like this keep coming up. Yes, doing what I like to do, or this is exactly what I like to do, but I hardly could see how this thing can yield the financial return that I need. Because whether you like it or not, at some stage in life, the bills have to be paid. You have to be able to foot your bills and be able to take care of yourself. So the question is, if what I love to do doesn't seem to be generating the necessary funding to do and keep my life going, what exactly do I do? That's what we're going to be spending this evening to take a deep look at. But before I get into that, I just want to share with you some materials that we have that could help you, that could guide you, that could help you navigate the roadblocks of building a successful business, because your life in itself is a business. Business starts from the conceptualization of an idea. We have a book here that deals with how to choose a profitable business idea. The other one talks about how to take the idea from the idea stage to the market, while the third one deals on how to get funding for this business idea. So we also have what we call the Dress Carousel tribe. The Dress Carousel tribe is a group of people that we are working together and navigating the path of 2021 together. It's an accountability group where we have shared our goals with ourselves and we are holding ourselves accountable to ensuring that we meet our goals for the year. We also have a collective agreement amongst ourselves that every member of this tribe we earn between 12 and 24 million naira in 2021 in revenue. I think that's something you want to be a part of. Then I have an online store where you can get lots of my materials, from books to trainings and all of that I've done in the past. You know, so right now we're going to hit the ground running and begin to navigate this topic. I love what I'm doing, but it's not yielding the money I need. What can I do? First, I want to emphasize the fact that doing what you love remains the most perfect advice without any controversy. Doing what you love is the way to go if you want to be a success. Because part of what happens is the fact that even in life, there are going to be challenges. In business, there are going to be challenges. There are going to be times where things will not turn out the way you expect it to be. The first thing, the major thing that keeps you going is the fact that you enjoy what you're doing. So you can't take that away. You must do something that you enjoy doing. Because truth is, when you do what you love, you're not actually working. You're just having fun and yet you're delivering value. Each time I talk about this, JJ Okocha keeps coming to my mind. You could see the ease with which he plays football. You could see the fun he's getting. In fact, I didn't read this myself. I heard someone say that JJ Okocha said he's even surprised that they are paying him. He's just doing what he loves doing, you know. So that's how life is supposed to be. God created every one of us to do something that we love. He puts in all of the ingredients within us. And within that same thing, that thing is supposed to take care of us and make us able to make the necessary impact in life and in the life of others. The truth is your authority is deeply rooted in doing what you love. How do I mean? When we're looking at the word authority, we're talking about being authorized. You are authorized to do what you love. You know why? Because the reason you are even falling in love with this thing is not because of something external, it's because of something internal, something God has placed within you. That's why some things that seems to be plaguing the world pass you unnoticed. It doesn't bother you, but there are other people having sleepless nights because of this same thing. So that's the same way that thing that you love, that thing that you're passionate about, that thing that you dream about, that thing that you are eager to create a solution for is eating you up, is driving you deep, but some other persons don't even notice it. God placed it on the inside of you. It's a drive that's supposed to drive you to your place of fulfillment. You know, that's the place where your authority thrives. Just like a fish has authority in water, the bird has authority in the air. You know, if you say, let's do a competition between an eagle and a fish, and decide that competition is going to hold on water, you have disenfranchised the eagle because that is not his place of authority. Just like a fish does not go for swimming lesson, you will not go for public speaking lesson if you love public speaking and talking is a part of you. Yes, that is not to say you don't have to. Yes, you have to. As we go ahead, we're going to see stuff on how you must go about it. But the truth is, these things happen to you naturally. But the question we have right before us now is that I can't pay my bills. What do I do? Despite the fact that I'm doing what I love. So now, what do I do? So let's look at a few steps that could help us convert what we love to do to cash. In fact, there are a lot of trainings going on that. Steve Harris holds his program tagged Mastering the Business of Your Talents. There are a lot of programs that talks about passion to profits. There are some talking about how to convert what you love to cash. Through this, it is really, really possible. And this thing starts by first you believing that it is possible, because it also amounts to a limiting belief when you think that what you love to do doesn't have the capacity to generate funding. That belief in itself will keep you from thriving in that thing that you already enjoy doing. First, you must settle it within yourself that what I am doing have what it takes to generate the necessary funding to take care of me and the people around me. What you're doing can make you a millionaire, a billionaire in whatever currency if you follow these simple steps that we're going to be sharing. First, understand that it takes a process. The fact that you love to do this thing doesn't mean it will eventually start to generate money. It takes a process. Just like you can't start a business today and expect to begin to earn from it massively like you would like to. That's the same way the fact that you're doing what you love, it doesn't mean it's going to begin to generate money for you eventually. I've always shared my story. I left the bank. In fact, I entered the bank knowing what I'm doing now is what I was going to do. I remember sharing with one of the persons who interviewed me that I am coming to the bank for 5 years because I needed to understand the corporate culture. I needed to understand the corporate environment. I needed to be able to also answer the question, who is he? What is his background? What qualifies him to begin to talk to us about money? What qualifies him to be able to talk to me about business? That was the simple reason I went to the bank. That's why till date, when I teach people, I tell people, work to learn, work to learn. You know, understand that it takes a process. So when I eventually left the bank and started doing what I'm doing now, I paid the price. I paid the price. I left abruptly. I leaped. I took what we call in the spiritual environment, I took a leap of faith. If I'm to go through that process again today, there are a lot of things I would do differently. One of those things I'll do differently is that I will seek for a coach who will coach me and guide me through the process. So I will be resigning into something I have given time to. But I resigned into starting something afresh. It was tough. It was tough. But today, looking back, I will say it was worth it. I always tell people one of the major things that helped me scale through all of those processes was the fact that God gave me a good wife. I was under pressure outside, but I wasn't under pressure at home, as it were. So that helped me to navigate through that process. So understand that it will take a process. That's the first thing you must have at the back of your mind. That you love it doesn't mean people will patronize or pay for it immediately. Yes, you're doing what you love. And the reason why you are currently under pressure is because you are thinking, because I love it, people should appreciate it enough to pay for it. No, no, it doesn't just happen like that. You're going to take time to fine tune it. You're going to take time to add value to it. You're going to take time to beautify it. Because truth is, the people are always thinking about themselves. Then the third step is that you must learn from others in your industry. There is a way it is currently being done that it is yielding money. If you are doing it and it is not yielding, it's because you're trying to reinvent the wheel. It's like telling yourself, until I'm able to master the mechanics behind how a television works, I'm not going to watch it. You don't need that. Stick to someone who has done it in the industry where you're playing and learn from such a person. You can learn from across board by taking courses from these persons, by reading their books, by listening to them, just like you're listening to me now, by spending time with their material. That is a broad way to go about it. Then, fourthly, seek a coach. Sit under a coach in that industry. Even Jesus needed John the Baptist to introduce him. See what happened. John the Baptist already had a crowd. People already ascribed some level of authority to him. That is who a coach is. A coach is in an industry. He's already having some level of influence. When such a person trains you and announces you, people begin to trust you. People begin to do business with you because of the person introducing you. That's one of the things a coach will do for you. And a coach, by reason of his close, open-ended question, will help you to take a deeper look at what you are doing. Because sometimes people run with idea from the peripheral level. But when you sit with a coach, sometimes for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the few questions they will ask you will help you know that you need to do a deeper level of work. So you need a coach to guide you. And fourthly, you must work to convert your passion, your gift, or your talent to a skill. You must work to convert this gift to a skill. Because when we're talking about a gift, we're talking about something that came natural. It is still raw. Like raw materials are cheap. Raw materials are cheap. So if you want people to be able to patronize you, if you want people to be able to appreciate what you're doing and for it to begin to generate funding for you, you must be able to turn your talent into a skill. What is a skill? It means you now have an identifiable and appreciable and rewardable. You package your skill in an identifiable, appreciable, and rewardable manner. And this is now being validated maybe by a certification. For instance, imagine someone who ordinarily we want to arrange things. Like my little daughter is very passionate about cleaning everywhere. You know, this is a natural talent. Then when you take it further and do project management certification, what the certification is actually doing is telling the world in a rewardable manner, in an appreciable format, is telling the world that this guy can do this thing. We have trained him and certified that he can do it. That's what it means to turn your talent into a skill. Because there are a lot of people doing whatever you're doing, the clients want to be sure they are dealing with someone who knows what he's doing. That's the only essence of a certificate. Then you move. You've just moved it from talent to a skill. Then you must move it from a skill to the level of competence. That's to say, you now have proof of how you have deployed these skills in the past. You know, I'm not only talented, I have a certificate that proves that I am talented in this. And I have the competence shown by the fact that I have done this before. I have deployed this skill in helping 1, 2, 3 people in the past. Then from level of competence, you move it to your level of expertise, where you now have track records of competencies, where you can now point people, where there are now a lot of testimonies about you. In fact, I was listening to somebody yesterday and I was almost concluding that an average great guy today doing something massive on the internet in Nigeria has drank from the cup of Steve Harris. And that's awesome. That's what we call expertise, track records. Over time, many people talking about how your work has impacted them. That has become an expert. You have become an expert. Then from there, you move that same skill to becoming an authority. By now, you are no longer just saying, I can do it. I have an identifiable proof that I can do it. I have done it in the past. I have a track record. By now, you're not talking about your capacity to raise others to do the same thing. That's why in the medical field, such a person is called a consultant. They may come to the office just once in a week, twice in a week, but they are raising others. That's when you become an authority. When you move your skill set through this process, your skill, doing what you love, has no option than to pay you. The question now is, are you willing to go through the process? That's something you can't run away from. You must go through the process. You must go through the process because the truth is, the clients you are dealing with are only interested in themselves, not your gifts or your talents, your capacity to deliver value for them. Because I shared with us some time ago when we were looking at the tips to starting your year, right? That the world is a marketplace. It is criminal to come to the marketplace to seek for value without value in exchange. So the clients you're talking about are not really carried away with your gift. They don't care about your skill. They just care about how whatever you're doing can solve their problems. And for you to be able to solve their problem and be able to do it repeatedly, your talent may have become a skill, may have moved to becoming competence, and have become an expertise, and now you are an authority. That's when you can begin to raise others that are doing great things like you are doing. I believe with this viewpoint of mine, we've been able to put justice to this today. And I trust that if you are the one that sent this question and every other person who have these questions ringing in their head, we can say now that it is possible to do what you love, and what you love will eventually pay your bills and make you an authority where you begin to empower others within the same space. So let's do this again tomorrow. If you are yet to subscribe to this YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe, share our video, get your friends to like our page on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, get your friends to subscribe. Also, if you're on YouTube, do everything to leave comments with us. Leave comments for us. We don't We don't want to say that we're doing it perfectly. We want to hear from you. Where we're doing it well, please give us thumbs up. If you think there is something that needs to be improved, leave it on the comment section. We are healthy enough to deal with it. Thank you so much. And let's do this again tomorrow. Have a lovely night rest. Bye bye.